The Home Secretary insists that she is pressing ahead with plans to house up to 2,000 asylum seekers in Scampton. It's emerged that the first arrivals will be in August, but campaigners say they haven't given up hope of blocking the proposals. More than 70,000 people have now signed a petition calling on Suella Braverman to drop the plans. Well, our political editor Tim Iredale has the latest.
This is a plan that is an absolute outrage for our heritage.
We have to believe that we're going to stop it. We're not going to give up as a community.
We have over 40,000 people accommodated in hotels today.
Could Scampton become a temporary home for migrants in just 3 months' time? Many living nearby have made their feelings clear.
We've got 70,000 signatures on it at the moment, so we're having a last push to sort of get as many as we can on there, and then we're going to take it down and hand it to the Home Office.
And what will your message to the Home Office be?
That it's a crazy idea and they really need to rethink their plans.
All around Scampton are posters and placards showing the strength of feeling many have towards this proposal. But are campaigners ultimately fighting a losing battle?
I'm Hamish Faulkner, I'm Labour's candidate for Lincoln at the next general election, and I'm the author of the petition, which has just reached 70,000. Look, I think the government are being absolutely clear that the Conservatives want to do this. But if you look behind me, you can see this is still a site totally unequipped to host 2,000 people. We still have a judicial review on the way, and people are making their feelings known. There is massive support in Lincoln to see this proposal scrapped and going back to the economic plan. If the Conservatives push on with this, they're going to lose more and more votes.
But facing opposition from local Conservative MP Sir Edward Lee in the Commons this week, the Home Secretary said the government had to find an alternative to housing asylum seekers in hotels.
We are spending over £6 million a day on that accommodation. It is an unacceptable situation, and that's why the Prime Minister and myself have made it a priority to bring on and deliver alternative, appropriate and more cost-effective accommodation.
The local council, West Lindsey, recently changed control, with the Liberal Democrats now the largest party. But the legal battle to stop the Home Office's plans will continue.
We're certainly continuing the fight against Scampton. The government decision was a wrong decision for the proposal for using Scampton.
The base that was once home to the World War II dam busters and where the Red Arrows used to train is still at the centre of a war of words, with neither side willing to back down. Tim Iredale, BBC Look North, Scampton.
Yeah, we saw him in the report. Hamish Faulkner started the petition and he's joining us now. Mr Faulkner, good evening to you. The first asylum seekers are arriving in August. This is over, isn't it?
I mean, they claim that the asylum seekers are going to arrive in August, but as I said in the clip, there's absolutely no sign that the Home Office is seriously engaging with the reality of RAF Scampton. It's a site still with lots of asbestos in it, still with lots of contaminants, that what they are claiming they're going to do is put shipping containers to house 2,000 people on the hard standing by that very famous runway which the dam busters flew from.
But I was talking to a former immigration officer last week who said West Lindsey fighting this is a waste of time and taxpayers' money. He also says it's an ideal place for these people because they're all going to be together. You can have a doctor on site, etc., etc.
I mean, with all due respect to the man, I would invite him to actually visit Scampton. There is nobody, including Home Office officials, who think this is a good idea. What the court case revealed was that Home Office officials were advising Suella Braverman not to go ahead with this plan. They are struggling with all sorts of practical questions. We're told that they will get a doctor for 2,000 men in RAF Scampton. I think anybody with any familiarity with healthcare in Lincolnshire would struggle to believe that. Let
me ask you a couple of quick questions. Many people are writing to me worried that these people will be wandering around. They'll go down into Lincoln. One woman wrote, I quote, "I simply won't feel safe." Now, is Lincoln being precious and maybe worrying when they don't need to? Or do you totally sympathise?
Well, I think when you look at the actual location, there are no services in Scampton. 2,000 men, if you put 2,000 Boy Scouts on the end of a runway in Scampton, you would expect problems because there is just nothing to do. And that is an issue that affects young people across the country. If you put 2,000 young people from very different communities, which is what the Home Office is saying they're going to do. Yes, I think it's reasonable to expect if there is not a proper plan and there is no evidence that the Home Office has put together a proper plan, then it's reasonable to expect that there'll be problems. Like in relation to the route to Lincoln, if you drive down the A15, I think you can see pretty clearly that it's going to be a very dangerous place.
What do you know about the £300 million investment? Is it still there? Is it on hold, or is it lost?
So I talked to Scampton Holdings Limited, who are the private sector group who hold that investment. They promised me that for now that money is still on the table. But if the government continues to ram this through against official advice, without consulting local people, then that money will go elsewhere eventually. For now, Peter, it is still on the table. But the longer the Home Office keep pushing a plan which even their officials think won't work, the more likely it is that Lincoln and Scampton is going to lose all of that money and thousands of jobs in the teeth of a cost of living crisis.
Now, you obviously want to be the Labour MP for Lincoln, so people will be very interested in this question. This is a yes-no question. Do you support the PM's ambition to stop the boats?
So I support an ambition to stop dangerous illegal immigration, which leads misery to people. But I do not believe for 1 second, Peter, that ruining the economic plan for Scampton has anything to do with stopping the boats. The people that we're told will be coming to Scampton are people from Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq. They are not going to be put off by the idea that they'll be living in shipping containers. They are fleeing the Taliban. I know the country well. I know lots of Afghans. This has absolutely nothing to do with stopping the boats.
Hamish Falconer, good to have you on the programme tonight. Thank you very much indeed for your time. I continue to get such a response on this. I was just reading another one that's come in just late this afternoon from Judith. Somehow it's okay to put 2,000 single men free to roam all around my backyard, as she puts it. I am worried sick about my security and privacy. Not too late, of course, to have your say, especially on what you've heard there.